The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. Glory to you, O Lord. On the Sabbath day, Jesus went to dine at the home of one of the leading Pharisees, and the people there were observing him carefully. In front of him there was a man suffering from dropsy. Jesus spoke to the scholars of the law and Pharisees in reply, asking, "Is it lawful to cure on the Sabbath or not?" But they kept silent. So he took the man, and after he had healed him, dismissed him. Then he said to them, "Who among you, if your son or ox falls into a cistern, would not immediately pull him out on the Sabbath day?" But they were unable to answer his question. The Gospel of the Lord. Observing Jesus. In our gospel, we hear the people in the home of the Pharisee are observing him, Jesus, carefully. They're observing Jesus carefully. They're watching him. They're seeing what he is doing. And St. Ignatius, in his spirituality, developed a way for us to do this in prayer, to observe Jesus. His technique is called a contemplation. In this, he invites us to use our imagination to bring a scene to life, either by observing the scene from a distance, like someone behind a camera, or to put ourselves in the scene like observers. So for today, for example, maybe to be one of the people in the home eating that meal. Or the third option is to put ourselves as one of the main characters in the scene. So maybe as the man suffering from dropsy, or the leading Pharisee, who's the host. And his idea was to use our senses through our imagination to encounter, so that we could really experience what Jesus is doing, and lead this to a conversation with Jesus. And in our gospel, we hear Jesus ask the people challenging questions, and we hear they do not respond. So we do not know their answers. But through Ignatian contemplation, we can imagine being in their position. And what would we do? Would we do the same thing? Be silent? Or would we respond? And how? And how would the interaction change if we were a member of the crowd versus being the man suffering from dropsy or being the host, the leading Pharisee? And again, we do not get their reactions. But doing an Ignatian contemplation affords us the opportunity to imagine it, and through this allow Jesus to speak to us and for us to listen and observe. And in this way, Jesus can teach us what to do in certain scenarios. We can imagine Blessed Dominic Collins contemplating, observing Jesus, listening to Jesus on how he was supposed to respond to the call in his own life. And so, my brothers and sisters, let us follow Dominic Collins' example, and let us follow the example of the people in the gospel, and observe Jesus through Ignatian contemplation. And in this way, Jesus can show us how to respond to certain situations in our own lives.